Well, thank you for that introduction, Mr. Chairman. Greatly appreciated. As you said, I'm Donna Susi. I represent Senate District 18, and I am here to introduce Senate Bill 269. The reason this bill came in late is because an issue had arisen regarding tip pooling and the enforcement of tip pooling. And the department, and they're represented here in the association, were able to reach what I believe is an agreement, and that is what you have here before you. It made sense to put that agreed language in statute. So let me just say that one of the things about tip pooling that you won't be surprised to hear is that when it comes to tip pooling and sharing, I believe that the employees should have the choice. If this bill in any way changed that, I'd be sitting on the other side of the table and not this side. This maintains that, but what this does is to set up bright lines about what responsibilities management has versus the employees. I think there were some instances where, and I'll let the association speak about specific examples, but where people were not trying to interfere with the process with the employees, but were trying to help. But it was what they were doing was contrary to the statute. So I think what this does is provide more explicit language for those involved in tip pooling to be able to administer it within their various facilities. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions. As I said, I know there are others who wish to testify as well.
Thank you very much, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Moving on now.
Good morning, Rudy Ogden, Deputy Commissioner, Department of Labor. Mainly here to answer questions to the extent that there are any, but the department would state that, as Senator Susi said in her introduction, there have been instances where this particular issue has come up. And when I say this particular issue, this idea of existing statute calls into play the idea that the employer should not ever be bringing up the idea or concept of tip pooling. It says at the employee's request or at the request of the employee. So removal of that language does make it clear that while coercion is still the concept or what we're most worried about in this concept, that it's not necessarily a violation for the employer to broach the subject. Additionally, the employer documenting what the parties have agreed to or what the practice is would not be seen as problematic under this amended language. So again, happy to answer any questions, but we just wanted to speak to that point.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. For the record, Mike Summers, President and CEO of the New Hampshire Lodging and Restaurant Association. Thanks to Senator Susi for bringing this bill forward. I know it was a bit of a process as we were late to the game. But again, as mentioned by Senator Susi and by Commissioner Ogden, we have had some issues around the statutory language. In a discussion that Commissioner Ogden and I had, we kind of agreed that there needed to be some clarity in this. So really, this is an attempt to just clarify the language of what the business can do, et cetera, and short of coercing folks and making it a non-voluntary program. So I think this hopefully kind of gets at the issue. Hopefully, it cleans it up a little bit. I think we're in agreement on the language. I think it's pretty easy. I think the second thing this bill does is it also clarifies another piece of language around service charges, if I'm not mistaken. And one of the issues that has developed over the years, and this came out of a conversation I had with Rudy as well, is that currently the way service charges are treated by the IRS, they are considered income of the business and therefore taxable. But under state law, because of this definition we have where it says a service charge is a tip or a gratuity, it is the property of the employee. So now you have a business in this weird system where they're paying taxes on property that is not theirs to really be taxed on. So hopefully this will clean that up. And with that, I'm happy to try to answer any questions if you have any.
Thank you very much. Couldn't get the light to stick. Just a little thing. It's just because I'm always worried about everything. just saying, if I'm working at, whatever, somewhere on the beach where I can make great tips. There's an Irish bar, you can make like 500-600 a night. Now it's gonna, so if I get, my nice tip every night, and I'm not saying it would be a good thing, right now I'm accountable for my tips personally as it's mine. And this will keep it more on the record though, right? The employer is gonna have, so now the government will have a easier time tracking tipped wages.
Two ways this becomes an issue. The first, in the scenario that you're referring to, the service charge piece would not really be an issue. This, you're referring to service charge part of the issue?
No, I'm thinking if I pool my tips, everyone's going to know how much I got for tips, what I took home. So now I'm going to be much more watched by the government as far as.
Clear. Rarely does tip pooling take place. The only time it usually takes place is when you have a team service environment, aka behind a bar when you have 3 bartenders.
Yep.
It's almost impossible to determine who earns which tip and who will collect the tips, and it all kind of goes to the jar and you figure it out. The other scenario where a tip pool would be used is likely like a function facility where you would have a team of 30 people that are all kind of sharing the roles and responsibilities, but you don't actually have one table, one set of customers. So
Okay.
it's kind of a room effort. Beyond that, tip sharing is a scenario where at the end of the night, if the busboy helped me out a bunch and the hostess did, gave me the best tables, whatever, I may share some of my tips. But in that instance, you would never declare how much your tips are to any other employee. You would only be declaring that potentially through a POS system for tax purposes.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Jim Reedy, and I'm a management side attorney with Sheehan Finney. And I have many cases just like this, and appreciate the department's position on this and Senator Susi's sponsorship of this. I've got a couple of active cases on this right now, and the language is important. And basically, what it says is at the request of the employee, and how impractical that is. An employee walking into a restaurant for the first time, at the beach or otherwise, and that person has to utter the magic words, I would like to share my tips or pool my tips. Oftentimes these are younger people or people returning to the workforce, and they wouldn't necessarily know that, but the language is awkward in that regard because the employer can have a policy, the employer can administer the policy, the employer can suggest a customary and usual tip, and they can also resolve disputes, but they can't talk about it. You have to raise it first. And so, and the Department of Labor, in agreeing with this language with the association, they were boxed in with this language, and it made it difficult. And I've got a case right now where that is exactly what it is. And there was some suggestion that how do you go back to the genesis of when the tip system came in place as to who originally uttered those words? So I think it's terrific language. It fixes a problem, and hopefully will take care of a lot of litigation that has been around that issue. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much for your testimony. Does anyone else wish to speak who didn't write their name down? Seeing none? Thank you.
Session?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Nobody. Okay, well, why don't we start with this one? That's okay with everyone?
The one we just heard?
I'll make a motion on to pass.
Okay. Whoever you heard first, Aaron, one's
I think Senator Susie.
Senator Susie, I think,
Okay.
and then you're second, so that's fine. Any discussion?
It's a good
I
bill.
think it was clear.
Okay.
I like it.
I like to bring solutions to the
Yeah.
community.
Okay.
Problems.
It seems
Thank
good.
you for that.
Okay, we're ready. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Do you want to speak to the bill? Do you want to
Move consent.
Second.
Okay. All in favor of consent?
Aye.
Good.
Could I take it out?
And you certainly can take it out.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, give me a moment. We'll go on here.
What's next, Mr. Chair?
It is going to be 33. Do I have a motion, Senator Ennis?
33. I think you do.
Okay.
I want to be sure I get it right.
That would be
Oh,
good.
yes. I move re-refer on that one.
I'll second.
Any discussion? It was the fee differential on,
Manufactured housing.
housing.
Any discussion on this?
nope. Okay,
Okay.
we'll move to vote. All in favor?
Aye. Move consent?
Second.
Do you want to take it out, Senator?
Sure.
Vote on consent.
Oh, I'm sorry. Voting all in favor of consent?
Aye.
Opposed? Boom.
All right,
Ayes have it.
great.
Senator Rashadi's taking it out. Moving along. $145. Do I have a motion?
I'll move out to pass.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Move consent?
Sure.
Do we want to do consent or do you want to speak or
Oh.
Senator Perkins?
Well, I think
You could.
Senator Perkins Spoka might want
Yeah.
to, or Senator Ennis. I mean, this
Yeah,
is,
okay,
the
sure.
housing issues,
Yeah.
I think, are
Yep.
such a priority
Yeah,
for
let's-
all of us. and
Let's do
where
this.
There's bipartisan support, it might be.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we did not have the
Good.
consent, right? We did not. Okay.
Yeah,
So-
no, I agree with Senator Susie. Let's do that.
Okay, and do you want to take it out or Senator Ennis?
Senator Susie can take it out. I don't care.
Okay.
Sure.
Uh,
193.
Yeah.
I'll move out to pass.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'll move consent. Oh, second.
Okay, sounds good. I'll take that one out. Yay. I'm sorry.
Consent.
Oh yeah, consent. That's always good.
Double
I
vote.
still want to take it out, but I don't really get. If someone else wants to take it out, they can too. Motion for consent. All in favor? Yeah.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. And I'll still take it out unless someone else wants it. Okay.
It's
Moving
all
on.
yours.
So steel we hadn't done. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And I got a,
195.
yeah, 195. So we have a little amendment, and it's really very little. It just says latest of edition of, so it's in reference to the American Institute of Steel, their code of practice, and someone more knowledgeable said we should put the words latest edition of. Doesn't change anything.
Ought to pass on the underlying bill.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Amendment
Of the
first.
amendment. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
of
I
the
was
amendment.
moving, so we had one on.
I know you were. Okay, all in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, no, the underlying bill. Thank you.
Do we have an out to
Just
pass
hit me.
on the underlying bill yet?
Everyone hits me in the right arm. It's fine. Do not feel guilty. I will not.
Good.
It won't be harassment.
Handed, so it'll be okay.
Yeah. In favor of the amendments.
We need a motion for the amendment.
Yep.
Move the amendment.
And I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Ayes
Now
have
a
it.
motion on the bill?
Just a bill
Yes.
with amendment. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Can we move consent on this one?
Second.
We can. All in favor of consent? Aye.
All right, very good.
Ayes have it.
Yeah.
Senator Shanley, do you want to take that out, write the blurb? Sure. Awesome. Eeny, meeny, miny. Okay, so 201, we're gonna wait for Senator Shanley's coming out with an amendment. We'll do that next week.
200.
We're gonna now go to 200, yes.
I'll move out to pass.
Second?
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Move
Uh,
consent.
So, the vote on the consent? Yes.
Aye.
Favor?
Aye.
Good.
All right.
Okay, we're getting there. Senator Ennis, would you like to take it out?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. And I think I somehow got through that. Aaron, are we all set? I don't think there's anything else for today.
Just 201.
Yeah, just 201. Okay.
Record time. Very
Record time.
nice.
Well, it's never pretty, but
Even a hearing.
okay. We are adjourning. Motion for adjournment. All in
So moved.
favor? Aye, boom. So moved. Thank you.
Are we done?
We're done.
Well, I can get caught up. That's good.
I'll be back here.
Oh, yeah.